Yone made whimpering sounds as she looked shocked at her hands and what she just did. She made her enemy disappear. How? How did she do that? She has many questions now inside her head to ask Alice, or at least somebody who knows about this whole experience. She knew that her powers came from her hand that had a yellow glowing thing on it, but where did it come from? The yellow glowing thing. Your name soon came out from her shock and looked determined to go further. She broke the lock that the cells were blocking her way. She looked relieved to see a door that could lead to her exit, but to her shock she stopped just a small foot away from the big sinkhole that blocked her way. She saw a chair fall and was silent in order to listen. She didn't hear any sound. It meant that it was really far down. Jordan looked carefully over into the sinkhole. That's one leap of faith I definitely won't make. She had to find another way to cross. She saw another door that blocked her way, but this time she saw something that could upgrade her gen pipe. She was even attacked by Fisher, that was previously known as Barley. If you're confused about what he looked like, then he's a small tip. He looks like Popeye. Good that Jordan didn't die. Jordan managed to create 2 gent cards that came from a machine nearby to the closed entrance. She walked to a card that blocked the entrance and she gently moved it quietly to not catch any attention. Who knows who she might attract. As she crouched down into the small door, she saw a lever and pulled it down. It made noises and she went to check, but to her horror, it was the lost ones. 3 of them exact, 2 females and 1 boy. As she killed them all, she entered through the closed entrance and it opened up for her. She stopped in her tracks as if they were the cutouts from the Bendy gang. Bendy, Boris and Alice. She couldn't help but smile. As she reached to stroke Bendy's cutout cheek, she couldn't help but hear a noise that sounded like purring. Was the cutout purring? As she stopped, the purring stopped as well. Jordan couldn't help but squeal. It was so cute. As she walked towards the door, she noticed the same door again. But as she walked closer, it was completely closed. She groaned as she didn't like solving puzzles. But then she gasped as she had an idea. The vent was slightly broken. She can break it with her gen pipe. She ran towards it, crouched down, and walked towards the end of it. She pulled the lever down and it made the noises again. Don't tell me that more the lost ones were coming. Jordan quietly went towards the place, but to her utter relief no enemies were spotted. As she continued and entered the stairs, she stopped in her tracks. She couldn't believe who he just saw. It was the actual Bendy, the dancing demon himself. Yoni slowly gathered up herself before walking slowly towards the cell. She carefully opened it and it got Bendy's attention, who was playing with the toy train. He looked up and stared into Yoni's golden eyes. His tail nearly curled into a heart, but he kept himself together. Even though he's in love with her, he was too scared of her. Yoni puts her gem pipe away as she walks slowly to Bendy, hands in front of her to show no harm. Bendy? She crouched down and Bendy immediately grabbed his train and clutched close it as if it was a plush. You're real? Every time Yoni stepped closer to him, Bendy felt scared and backed away. Yoni stopped in her tracks and looked softly at him, causing Bendy to feel at ease. He knew one thing from her. She didn't mean any harm. As Yoni stayed on her knees to give Bendy some time, Bendy felt encouraged to come closer until he was right in front of her. Yoni gave out a soft, warming smile that made Bendy's heart flutter. Okay, he was now deeply in love. He then reached with one gloved hand and gently stroked Yoni's cheek, which was soft and squishy. He has hearts in his eyes. Yoni felt surprised at the touch that Bendy made and gently leaned into the touch. As Bendy took his hand away from her cheek, Yoni gently did the same to him, stroking his cheek. She couldn't believe that he was real, alive and in front of him. In return, Bendy dropped his train on the wooden floor of the studio and covered Yoni's hand in his, purring loudly as his tail was wagging. His eyes closed into a wild smile. "You're coming with me, Bendy. My name is your name, by the way." Bendy smiled and opened his eyes. He stopped purring once Yone took her hand away, and Bendy picked up his train again. He looked down at his train and Yone became concerned. What's wrong with him? Bendy then looked up into Yone again and asked for permission to bring the train with him by showing it to her, making Yone giggle. "Yes, you can bring your toy with you."